Today, I'd like to take you to a different world. In the world where time is not broken up into hours, but into seconds. In the world where order has to be created out of a chaos. In the world where a simple decision can draw a line between life and death. This world is emergency medicine, and its equally frenetic twin, intensive care unit. To an outsider, these rooms might seem overcrowded, noisy, disorganized, with plenty of machines, monitors, respirator, flashing lights, sounds, voices shouting out meds, labs, orders. But as soon as you enter this department, you can see what lies beyond this surface. You can understand that there's no chaos, only organization. There is no frenzy, only efficiency. And in the center, a rhythm of action, intuition, ability, and the most importantly, humanity. So let's start from the patient. So every time the patient comes through the emergency department, the patient is living turning point moment. It can be motor vehicle accident, trauma, stroke. It can be heart attack. For some, it can be progression of the chronic illnesses. For many, it's dreaded unknown. Symptoms and signs that can't be explained. Our work is not to diagnose, to treat, but to be able to see beyond the disease to the person. So it's easy in a hectic environment to worry about numbers. Numbers like heart rate, pulse ox, temperature, respiratory rate. But we mustn't forget that these numbers belong to a human being with a life, with a history, with a loved one who is racing anxiously in the next room. While putting patient on a monitor, giving oxygen, establish IV lines, and giving orders, arranging workup, we must offer them something equally essential, the presence. At times it may be as simple as eye contact, a firm tone. We must remember that cure is not only pharmacological or procedural, it's deeply relational too. Emergency and critical care departments requires high-speed decision-making process. So we're working with unstable patient, with incomplete data, and with limited time frame and limited human resources. You might see a patient with a sepsis. You might see a patient with altered mental status. You might see a patient with new onset of psychiatric disease. You might see a patient with unexplained symptoms, but it's up to re-stratify them and give them adequate care. You are constantly asking yourself, am I doing right? Is this abdominal pain benign or impending perforation is going to get worse? Should I intubate the patient right away, or I can start stabilizing the patient first? Is it normal headache? Is it migraine? Or this is subarachnoid hemorrhage? So this is live clinical thinking and judgment based on experience, knowledge, and time work. During you are making your mind up, you must coordinate your work with the staff. You must call nurses, make normal orders, call medical specialists, and the most importantly, diffuse tension and make normal records. You must talk to the patient and then to the patient's relatives and do it over and over again. This is multitasking. It's not only multitasking we do generally, it's mental triage that never ends. And in the last few years, another layer has been adding to this complicated system. This is technology. Technology helps us to take care and improve the way we care about the patients. So we have electronic parts that give us direct access to patient longitudinal data. We have wearables that helps us to receive the patient information, even the patient, before the patient is admitted to the emergency room. We have telemedicine that brings previously unavailable care directly to the patient, but there is one thing we must remember. These technologies doesn't replace clinical judgment. They augment it. These technologies is our allies, not our replacement. And in the end, it's the doctor who must take responsibility, who must interrupt, intervene, and then advocate. So, we do pay a price for all this work because emotional and cognitive toll is enormous. We are getting tired, we are exhausted mentally, but at the end we must find out the sources to do our job over and over again. Technologies are helping us to make our job better. You must have a moment when you are resuscitating a coding patient 1 minute and holding a dying patient's hand the other during a single shift. And there is no space in between to reboot emotionally. The aspiration is high to move swiftly, to get it right, and to move it again. Perfection is not the goal, good sense is. Resilience is not about being unaffected. It's about being able to return to your work and show up with clarity and compassion, even after everything you've done and even after you are exhausted. And what makes it work together is collaboration. We don't do it alone. We do it as a part of a team. We do it together with nurses, with our consultants, with housekeeping, with admin, and every single person in the department had its role in the patient outcome. So, let me leave you with this. In the emergency medicine and intensive care unit, we rarely have the luxury of time. No, we don't. But we always have the power of choice. The choice to take a moment and look at the patient and the disease. The choice to treat a patient not like a medical case, but like a human being whose life is worth it. The choice to listen when the dean is in room is great. So what makes emergency medicine department and ICU great is not medical technologies, is not advanced technologies, is not the speed we make a decision, is the people. The people who stand up every day and rise to the challenges over and over again, not because it's easy, but because it's hard. So let's make together and build a new system that is not only advanced or efficient, but more human and kind. So in the end, I want you to show some pictures. At the beginning of our journey as a medical student, we have different expectations. We might expect to see ourselves like a doctor from enterprise, using these gadgets and devices to diagnose and treat a patient without any restrictions. But what happens in reality? In reality, we work with the patient. We are in close touch with the patient. We are doing repeated physical examination as many times as we can, because we mustn't forget, we are not treating a disease, we are treating a human being with its problems. Thank you.